Hi and welcome to this video. We will walk through how logs are generated by your gateways, how they are stored on management or dedicated log servers, how to enable dynamic log distribution, and how to configure automatic log retention policies to keep your disk space healthy. So whether you are managing a large enterprise or a lab setup, these tools and settings are essential for maintaining a secure, efficient, and well-audited network. So let's get started. So now let's meet the tools at our disposal. So we have SmartConsole, logs and monitor. So here, logs. Here we can see all logs and analyze events with customizable views and reports. So if we click on this plus sign here, you can see that we have many, we can generate reports, we can create our own reports. So for example, if we click on reports, we have many reports that we can view. The other tool is SmartView Monitor, and SmartView Monitor monitor tunnels, users, suspicious activity rules, and alerts. Configure thresholds for alerts. So let's log in. The SmartView is a web-based. Let's get the link to it. Let's open a browser here. And we can log in, something like that. So this is the IP address of the management server. So let's log in, and you log in with the same username and password as the management server. So here, admin and admin. Let's log in. So the goal of the SmartView web application is to provide a browser-based interface for analyzing security events and monitoring your environment. SmartView Web does not provide all the features available in SmartConsole. So while SmartView Web offers convenient browser-based access for monitoring and analyzing security events, it has some limitations compared to the full SmartConsole application. So as we can see here, so for example, we cannot change the access rule or policy, but we still can see logs or something like that. Let's take last hour maybe. This is a lab, so there's nothing. It's very empty. But the next tool is Smart Event. So Smart Event we can configure Smart Event correlation unit for analyzing logs and detecting events. The smart event, if we back here, so here as you see, smart event, we can open it. So here we have global exclusions. So we have many different options that we can configure to control our logs and events, and what should this system do when an event occur. So the next tool is CPView. So CPView, we can run it on security gateways and on management server. On gateways, it shows the rate of generated logs. So let's go back here. Here we can see that our gateway is here. We can see that this is our gateway. So let's try to log in to using SSH to it, something like that maybe. And here we can type CPView, and if we scroll to go to advanced, and here you can see, and because this is the lab, so nothing is happening right now, so no logs are generated. But we can see that this gateway will send logs to this one and this one. So we have I have two log servers, the management server and a dedicated log server, this one here. So let's take a look at this gateway. The generated log rate on gateway. The generated log rate, logs per second, indicates that your system is actively processing an amount of log data. This is a good metric to monitor, as it helps you understand the logging activity and performance of your checkpoint environment. So if you need to analyze this further or take action based on this log rate, consider checking the following. So first, log storage. So ensure that your log storage is sufficient for handle this volume. Log analysis. Use SmartConsole logs events to analyze the logs for any unusual activity. And performance monitoring. Keep an eye on your performance so to ensure they can handle the load. So this is a gateway. So now let's jump to the management server. And let's try to get CPView. Here we have another kind of information. So we have log receive rate. This is very important here. So the log receive rate refers to the number of logs per second that a log server or management server receives from connected gateways. This metric is crucial for monitoring the performance and capacity of your logging infrastructure. It helps you understand the volume of log data being processed and can indicate if the system is handling the expected load efficiently. The average size. So the average size of log entry in checkpoint logging system, one log is about 150 bytes. This size can vary depending on the specific details and fields included in each log entry. Knowing that, you can count, for example, if you have, say, here 20,000, you can multiply 20,000 by 150 and you can get approximately how much disk is needed. So finally, keep an eye on your service log receive rate. This one. So here, this log receive rate. The number of logs processed per second. Use CPView or SmartView monitor to set alerts if rates spike or drop unexpectedly, ensuring you never miss a critical security event. So now it's time to so let's do an anatomy of a log. So logs originate at two primary sources. Security gateways or cluster members produce network logs based on your installation policies. The management server generates audit logs detailing every administrator action. These logs can be stored locally or on gateways, on management server itself, or on a dedicated log server for high volume environments. So you can also forward logs automatically or on demand via CLI with the fetchlogs command. So the fetchlogs command in checkpoint. So let's quit this. That command specified log files from a remote checkpoint computer. These logs can be either security logs or audit logs. So let's try an example here. So we have this example. So these files here, these log files, this one and this one. So these specify the names of the log files you want to fetch. And this IP address is the IP address of the remote checkpoint computer from which you are fetching the logs. Note that the log files on the remote computer will be deleted. after they are successfully copied. So this command is only for so that you can know how to use it. So now, configuring log migration on upgrade. When you're upgrading your environment, you can control how many days of historical logs migrate over. So we have an example here. So we need to create. So let's remove this and go to expert mode. Expert mode. We need to create this file, upgrade log data. We create it and then we use V to open it. We use this file, we can use it to choose between 30 and 360 days. Then we save, and we need, in that file, we need to add this text here. And here we change that to the number of days between 30 and 360. So let's take, for example, 180, something like that. And let's save that. So colon W and Q. So if we open it again, we can see that it is saved. So Q. This lets you limit migration to just the recent logs your team needs. So in that example, we created a tag set to 180, which means that during the upgrade process, logs from the past 180 days will be imported into the new or upgraded log server. You can adjust the number of days, as we said, between 30 and 360. According to your requirements. And lastly, the file is not used for management servers, only for log servers. So now, dedicated log servers. So for larger networks, offload log storage and indexing to a dedicated log server. Gateways and send logs to it, while SmartConsole on your management server still presents a unified log view, keeping your performance high and your analysis seamless. When doing the first time wizard, you should choose to configure it as log server. You know, we have three different options when we're doing the first time wizard. One is gateway, second is the management server, and the third is log server. So now, that is important. Dynamic log distribution. So it is a feature introduced in Checkpoint R8110 and later versions, including R82, that optimizes the ways logs are distributed from security gateways to log servers. Instead of replicating every log, so let's check our gateway here, and under logs here, you can see here, we have two options. Send a copy of every log to each of the primary log servers. So I have two primary servers. So this will send a copy to this one and to this one. The other option is to distribute logs between log servers or improve performance. So that's very important to know about. So gateways now evenly spread logs across your primary and backup log service, reducing network load and balancing disk usage, instead of sending a copy of every log to each log server. Dynamic log distribution allows logs to be distributed among active log servers. This reduces the load on individual log server and optimizes resource utilization. And by distributing logs across multiple log servers, the feature reduces the log traffic on each network that connects the security gateway or cluster to its log server, enhancing overall performance. So It's very important. So you can do that only here. If you have, so in my case, I have the management server and a dedicated log server. And if you choose to distribute this, it will not send a copy of every log to everyone, but it will distribute logs between log servers. So next, disk and log storage. Here we define free space alerts. So let's go to here, local storage here. So you can set alerts for when disk space falls below a certain threshold. This can be configured in either megabytes or percentage. So as we can see here, megabyte or percentage. So you can choose what is better for your case. For example, you can set an alert when free disk space is below 3000. As we see here, 20 is default when you use log server. So let's change that to 3000, something like that. Or 10% of the total disk space. And we have automatic deletion of all disk logs. We can configure the system to automatically delete the oldest logs or index files when disk space falls below a specified threshold. As you can see. And we have an option to run a custom script here before cleanup. So you can run a custom script before the cleanup process begins. This is useful for performing additional tasks or maybe backups before logs are deleted. Here in our management server, we have this daily logs retention configuration. Here we automate log cleanup with daily retention policies. So what is the difference between index log and log files? So you can see here, keep index logs, keep log files. What is the difference between these? So indexed logs in Checkpoint refer to logs that have been processed to create an index, allowing for faster search and retrieval. When log indexing is enabled, the system creates an index file for each log file, which significantly improves the performance of log queries and searches in SmartConsole. So on the other hand, the log files are the raw data files that contain all the log entries generated by the security gateway or management server. Log files are stored in the Firewall directory, /log directory, and can be accessed directly for viewing or analysis. They are essential for record keeping and auditing process. But searching through them can be time consuming, especially when dealing with large volumes of data. So here, as we can see, we can configure to keep, say, 30 days and keep log files for an extra 10 years. But this needs a very big disk, so that you know. So now let's wrap up this discussion. So I have this here. So choose the right client interfaces for analysis. So CPView, SmartConsole, or SmartView browser edition. Plan your log resources, storage and forwarding pipelines. Leverage dedicated log service and dynamic distribution for scale. Automate retention, this is very important. And monitor disk health. Track log receive rates for proactive alerting. So very important stuff here. So this video is done here. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.